Hello, my name is Mike and this is a video about personal independence payment, daily living activity number 10, which is about the help that I need or would need most days to make budgeting decisions. And to do that to an acceptable standard, whenever I need to in the day, taking no more than twice as long as a person who doesn't have a health condition would take. Now, if you're familiar with PIP, you'll know there are four main sorts of PIP help. They look at whether you need aids to do the PIP activities, whether you need prompting, reminding, encouraging, explaining, whether you need physical help, whether you need someone with you all the time you're doing the PIP test to keep you safe. Well, here, there's only two of those taken into account: physical help and prompting, reminding, encouraging, explaining. However, if we go back to the title of the PIP activity, making budgeting decisions, that's what it's about. It's about the cognitive, intellectual process of making decisions. So although the scoring system does include whether or not one needs physical help to do that, I can't imagine a circumstance where that might be the case. So, to me, this activity is about whether or not I need prompting, reminding, encouraging, or explanations to make those decisions whenever I need to an acceptable standard, taking no more than twice as long as a person who doesn't have my condition. Now, there are two grades of budgeting decision that they're inquiring about: complex budgeting decisions and simple budgeting decisions. By complex budgeting decisions, what they mean is calculating household and personal budgets, managing and paying bills, and planning future purchases. By simple budgeting decisions, what they mean is adding up the cost of your shopping and checking your change. So what do they need to know about? Well, as always, I've got my checklist, and my checklist just asks three questions here. The first one: do you need prompting, reminding, encouraging, explaining to make complex decisions? The second one: do you need prompting, reminding, encouraging, explaining to make simple decisions? And the third one: say you've got that prompting, reminding, encouraging, explaining, maybe you can't make those decisions even so. So here's a couple of examples. I have worked over many years with a young man. I say a young man, he's not that young anymore. I've worked over many years with a man who has an intellectual impairment, a learning disability. Anyway, this is what we wrote. In relation to complex budgeting decisions, do you need someone to prompt, remind you, encourage you, explain things to you? We wrote, Julian cannot manage complex budgeting decisions. He doesn't have the intellectual capacity to calculate budgets, pay bills, or plan future purchases. And then, when we moved on to simple budgeting decisions, what we said was this: he always needs reminding, encouragement, and explanations to make simple budgeting decisions. He likes to deal with his own money when we go to the shop. I have to help him estimate how much his shopping costs, and then help him to make sure he gets the right change. Another example. This is a lady that I know who has multiple sclerosis. First of all, we answered the questions about complex budgeting decisions. I get brain fog, so it's difficult to focus on things for long or to hold more than a couple of facts in my mind. My husband and I do our banking, bills and budgeting together, but now it always takes much longer than it used to, even with his prompting, reminding, encouragement and explanations. On the rare occasions that I pay for things with cash, I always show him my change and he gives me the nod. Even with prompting, reminding, encouraging explanations, it would take me a very long time to add up the cost of my shopping and to check my change. I need him to do it for me. If you want my checklist, mybolton.co.uk/PIP, or it might be in the comments below. I'm sorry, I can't help with individual claims, but if your organisation needs some training, get in touch.